Welcome guys to my channel, Pamachi over here. Today I'm talking about my experience at the match versus FC Cincinnati. I was able to watch the game in box seats for free. So I'll tell you about my experience at the end of the video about that, and I'll tell you about the game. The match started off with fireworks as usual. You know, if you go to a Toronto FC game, they have fireworks that go off at the start of the game. They have a few, they'll have 5 sets of fireworks that will go off, and it's pretty neat to watch for the start of the game. I think they've only started doing that over the past few years to get the fans hyped up and stuff like that. But I saw this thing for the first time, that there's a sign behind the main screen at BMO Field, and it has these little exhausts, or I'm not sure what you would describe it as, and smoke started coming out of those, but the colored smoke that the fans use in the supporters section, and it started happening. You could see the smoke coming out from behind the screen. So I thought that was a very interesting thing. The view of the field was very good from the seats that I got. You know, I was at the one side, I was on the shorter side of the stadium. I'm not sure what direction that's in, but I was on the shorter side of the stadium, and I was on the far end closer to the screen. And yeah, it was very good viewing for the game. We were opposite of the supporters section, so you didn't get that kind of atmosphere as much, but you could still hear them. They were pretty loud. And in comparison to previous games that I went to for Toronto FC, mainly over the last few times, I've been in more like of the nosebleed seats. So for the first half, it started off pretty quickly. You know, we started getting some chances. We had a lot of chances in the first half. We clearly dominated, but in the 16th minute, Nick DeLeon scored with Omar Gonzalez and Alejandro Pozuelo assisting the goal. I actually thought it was on a corner. Alejandro Pozuelo took the corner, I'm pretty sure. Omar Gonzalez must have headed it to him, and then he scored it. I actually thought it was Omar Gonzalez. I didn't really get a good view of the goal. I didn't really see it that well. I was kind of thrown off by it. I was looking somewhere else, and I'm like, oh crap, it's a goal. So that was very exciting to start off the game, just only in the 16th minute. The second half started off with a bang as well. Josie Altidore ended up scoring a potential Toronto FC. I'm specifying that to Toronto FC, so don't attack me over, saying this is the best goal in the league in MLS this year. It's definitely not, but it was certainly could be up there for one of the best goals in Toronto FC's 2019 season. And then in the second half, the defense certainly got worse. It got a lot more sloppy. It was more of us creating our own problems. You know, of course, FC Cincinnati started pushing a bit more, but Quentin Westberg almost handed a goal to the FC Cincinnati forward. I'm not sure who exactly it was. I haven't looked that up, but he almost handed a goal because he didn't quite look at all the players around him enough, so he was kind of taking his time ready to kick the ball, but then there's this FC Cincinnati player coming in from his blind spot, and then the guy almost took the ball, but I think the guy did kind of take the ball, but he missed. So in my opinion, Nick DeLeon, Richie Laria had probably some of the best games. Put Josie Altidore in that mix. And whenever I watch Toronto FC, I've found that Marky Delgado doesn't feel like he's having much of an impact on the game. But that game, I watched it, and maybe it's because I was in a stadium then, but I found he had a pretty decent game. Okay, so I said I was going to make a little bit of a piece on box seating, and here's my opinion on box seating. So in terms of the food, it's really nice because you get free food. You get unlimited food for free. Well, unlimited to the extent of if there's any left. You get snacks like chips, popcorn, a drink. I got ice cream at the end, which was nice. But in terms of the main meal, there was hamburgers, beef sliders. There was chicken wings. There was hot dogs. There was pizza. I'd have to say, in terms of the quality of the food, it's not anything better from what you can buy outside, but of course, since it's free, it always feels better to have it when it's free. So it was nice in that way. In terms of the view, of course, it was better than ones that I've had in previous times when I was up maybe further in the sections, as maybe what you would describe as the nosebleed seats of the stadium. So it's certainly nice too, and you got that for free. It's always nice when anything's free. In terms of the atmosphere, it's probably worse because the people in the box seating normally aren't as interested in the game because they got the tickets for free, and they might not necessarily be fans of Toronto FC, and they might not necessarily watch soccer because they're coming mainly because they'll be like, well, I'll try it out because I'm getting these tickets for free. But they're fine if they don't really spend the whole time watching the game. So sometimes my view of box seating was kind of that before, even though I had never been in it, because I've heard things about it, and it really is exactly what I thought. I respect the fact that people are coming, they're taking advantage of it being free. But the reality is that people are not always as enthusiastic about the game as you being in a regular seat, because the people in the regular seats are people who paid money to go to the game normally. They're excited about the game, they're not interested in constantly going for the unlimited alcohol that you get in box seats a lot of the time. You might have a guy behind you who's drunk. Sometimes they're super rowdy. Normally they don't cause any harm or anything like that. They might just say a few words that they probably shouldn't be saying to the players, being a little overly mean to the players, getting a little too rowdy, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But overall, the atmosphere is better in regular seats because you're around season ticket holders who know the team better than fans normally in box seats who got free tickets. I'm not saying this about all box seats, but it's a lot of the time if you get free tickets from companies, it gets like this. And I appreciate going to the game. I really like this. It was a nice novelty thing to have, but to be honest, I much rather enjoy the experience in regular seats because you get more of that atmosphere of the supporters section. You can hear it a bit further because I was further away from it, and you could still hear it pretty well. And the people around you are more into the game. They'll do the cheers more often. It sometimes feels like you're in the box seats, and the people who have never been to a TFC game before or who have never watched it on TV, you start doing the normal TFC chant and they're like, what's this? The team's Toronto FC? And it kind of feels like that sometimes with box seats. So overall, I enjoyed the novelty. I'm very grateful that I got this experience for free. You get unlimited food, unlimited unlimited a lot of things there. You get your own private washroom, at least in this case scenario. You do. You get a nice view of the game as well. You get okay service. So it's a nice experience to have, but it's certainly something that it's one of those things like, yeah, I'll do it once. It was a nice experience to have once, but overall I'm not as thrilled about it that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, definitely I want to go back to those box seats. I'd much rather be in regular seats overall, but I'm still grateful that I got that experience. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.